You know that it's fun to go out, except I never leave my house. I'm either at work or home, and it seems kind of pathetic just drinking alone. So if you got nothing going on, have some drinks with Ron.
Hello and welcome to a rare "the sun is still up" version of Drinks with Ron. Couple reasons for that. Reason number one, Steelers are playing today, and we've got the Lions. So, that doesn't sound like too much of a difficult task, but therein lies the problem. If you win, great, you were supposed to, and if you lose, oh good lord, the season is over. So, there's not much potential for feeling good, but there's a whole lot of room for letdown there. So I thought maybe have a little drink ahead of time. So I picked up some Walker's Deluxe, or as the tall, bald man at the liquor store said, Walker's Delicious. So I really like this stuff. It's another one of those, I guess you could say it's a bottom shelf whiskey, but my liquor store apparently tries to confuse you. It's on the bottom shelf, and it's also on the second to the top shelf, which, and if you go by taste alone, that's the shelf it belongs on. And I really got to liking Walker's. It's a pretty tasty bourbon, and not only that, but there's some history behind it, because when Capone was trying to do some of the old bootlegging back in the Prohibition days, there's talks about how the Walker boys came up from Kentucky and sat down in a room with Capone and his men to hash out how exactly they would get Walker's fine bourbon whiskey up to us thirsty folks up north here. But it's pretty tasty. So, I said there was a couple of reasons why I was having a drink early. I told you reason number one. Reason number two, I don't know if you can see my breath there, but it is that friggin' cold in here. Oh, Christ. Alright, here's a long story with not a lot of payoff. See, a few years ago, got some Jerk Farm playing right now, but I've got I've got a mini disc player that we'd use for recording Jerk Farm stuff, and I have the original, first initial version of the mini disc player, simple, straightforward playback. And as years went by, Zach got one that recorded, which mine does not, and eventually, we made some recordings, and it would usually be me that would take the mini discs, convert them into the computer, and get CDs to everybody. Well, as that happened, there's a couple of new settings on Zach's, so you can record in different modes that mine just couldn't. So I decided I'd purchase a new one that would play back in these modes, because I'm sitting here with too many discs of stuff that I couldn't get to anybody. So I got online to get a new one, which not easy to find, you might imagine. But I found one on Amazon.com for $60. Well, the deal was, you sign up for an Amazon card, they give you $30 credit. What the fuck? Sign up for this card, bought it with that, got the $30 credit off it, paid half price for it, everybody's happy. Well, the only problem is I didn't use the card much. And for over a year, I've had a zero balance on this card. So they were sending me bills every month, even though I owed zero, every bill said, so that was kind of stupid and pointless. So apparently I went in one day and signed up for the paperless billing. They just send you an email. So I used the card a while ago and completely forgot about it. So like I said, it had been a year since I'd used the damn thing. So I go to use it the other day and it won't go through. So I call them up, and I have a past due balance. So I say, how could I be past due? I never got a bill. Oh, well, you're on paperless billing. So I had to change that. Long story short, I was going to buy fuel oil for the house. Well, card wouldn't go through. Of course, it's Friday afternoon, because I wait till the last second for everything. And won't take the card. So I call, make the payment over the phone, bang, card's back on. Well, payment won't process till midnight, and they won't deliver oil till Monday. So, you can see your fucking breath in my house, and I, as Stewie Griffin would say, freezing my nips off over here. So, Yeah, I've been cooking a lot of shit in the oven lately. This morning I threw in a baked potato. I didn't even want one. Like Mitch Hedberg said, sometimes I just throw a baked potato in the oven even if I don't want one, because by the time it's ready, who knows? So yeah, I've been cooking a lot of shit in there, keep from freezing, and it's been real good time here in the house. Using the cats as a heater and whatnot. But so I'd talk a little bit about how I got into the whole whiskey drinking. A few years ago, I don't know what it was. One day I woke up and, well, I say woke up and got a drink, but got a beer one day and just didn't taste good. So I switched to a different beer, and it wasn't tasting good for me either. So I tried 4 or 5, darks, lights, reds, you name it. And at this point, I was just really sick of it. So it's like, man, I don't know what happened, but I loved beer of every variety, and then one day it just didn't taste good anymore. Kind of like what happened to me with baseball a while ago. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to eat, sleep, breathe freaking baseball, and now I don't think I watched a full 9 innings this entire season. I mean, total of 162 games, didn't watch 9 innings. So it's just like like I said, I woke up and I was just kind of over it. So I was watching a History Channel thing on distilleries. I decided, you know what? By the end of this episode, I will pick a new drink. So I watched the thing on tequila, which is pretty cool. It's all got to be from distilled juice of the blue agave cactus from a certain region of Mexico, and it has to be at least 51% that to be tequila. And then, the good stuff's 100%, which only recently have we been able to get the good stuff in the United States. So the crap I've been drinking over the years that I absolutely hated, well, I came to find out that there's a reason. It's because it's crap. So I drank some of the good 100% agave stuff, and yeah, I can understand why people drink the hell out of some tequila when it's the good stuff. Problem is, that shit's $50 a bottle, and let's not kid ourselves, I'm not paying that. Besides the fact, it's a foreign drink, and I'm picking a new drink here. I'm not going to go with something from Mexico. So I watched the whole thing. The next one was vodka, and they talk about how the whole goal of vodka distillation is to get the cleanest, purest product, and it's this whole... It's fucking insane. It looks like they're making a nuclear bomb, the shit in this place. Just filter after filter after distillation, and it's just nuts, but it's down to a science. So it's like the most clean surgical, procedure you could possibly have. And even though most of them are made in the U.S., once again, it's foreign drink. So, kept watching it. There was rum, same deal. It's Caribbean, blah, blah, blah. You get into gin, and Jesus, all the crap that goes in there. And look, if I want pepper in my fucking drink, I'll put pepper in my drink. You don't need to do it for me. Let's not even get into that. So, and that's another English deal. So it's like, everything's friggin' foreign. They've got this goofy process. Then we got to the whiskey. Simple process. Take the stuff, they distill it, put it in a barrel, char the fucking oak barrel, put the shit in it, put it on a shelf. Let it sit for a couple of years. The alcohol in the distilled product works with the char on the inside of the barrel. I mean, it's clear when it goes in the barrel, and when it comes out, it is quite clearly not clear. It comes out, the color, the flavor, the taste, all comes from the wood in the barrel. It's an American drink. It's the same process that it's always been. Not like the new, vodka, going all scientific, but it's the same deal. It played a pretty good role in, the building of the country, and, you talk about the Great Whiskey Rebellion. Hey, if guys are willing to go to war and fucking kill people over it, you got a pretty good drink there, I'd say. Not too off of the Schmore Schnapps from South Park. But, yeah, so I watched that special, and when I was done, I decided that's it. I'm going with whiskeys. And now I've gotten a hell of a collection. What do I got down here? Old Thompson's, which I don't buy anymore. Kessler's, which I avoid. Jim Beam's all right. Corby's, McCormick was okay. 40 Creek's more of a sipping whiskey, so I didn't really, I wasn't really drinking shots too much at that time. Phillips Union was alright, but pricey. 10 High's okay. Early Times, good whiskey. Benchmark and Evan Williams I really liked. Of course, I got all my Maker's Mark and Crown Royal back there, but I feel bad buying Maker's Mark because I feel bad mixing it. Like whiskey like that, you should just be drinking it straight. You put something in it and you're kind of killing it. I feel bad. Like I should call them up and let them know I just ruined a bottle of Maker's Mark by mixing it with something. But yeah, that and Crown Royal, I mean, a couple of my favorites. Could drink both of those straight over ice. Nice. But yeah, mainly, oh, and of course, Willie Nelson's Old Whiskey River, which found out a week or so ago at the Kings of Leon concert. You most assuredly can drink that straight. Me and Zach in the hotel room downing shots of this shit without a chaser. Like fucking water. It's beautiful. So if you ever do get a chance, that's my recommendations. I put number 1, Maker's Mark. Number 2, Old Whiskey River. Number 3, I gotta go with Crown Royal. Of course, Jack Daniels works its way up in there, but a different reaction to Jack Daniels. That's the kind of thing where, you drink 6 or 7 of those and, make you take your pants off and feel good, too. And the next morning you wake up thinking you were acting like some kind of fucking foreign diplomat. You think you were great, and then you see pictures of you with your cock on the bar, and you kind of think maybe I shouldn't have been stirring that chick's drink with my penis. But, so I kind of try to steer away from Jack. But after that, Benchmark, Evan Williams, Walkers, those 3 I put all together. Early Times, all in that one group. 10 High. Yeah, Jim Beam and Southern. Beam's alright, I'll drink that. Southern I try to avoid because, I said I had a bad experience with that. And it's a really sweet bourbon. And then, yeah, so I just kind of try to steer clear of that. But some really good whiskey and bourbons out there. So I figured I'd one by one go through all the Americans and make myself a little list. I've got a ranking on my computer. I save all the bottles down here. And I know what to get and what to steer clear of. And I like to think I've become a bit of a connoisseur, if you will. A bit of a whiskey enthusiast. I say whiskey enthusiast because alcoholic just doesn't have that same friendly, don't report me to Child Protective Services ring to it that enthusiast does. So yeah, we'll stick with enthusiast. Indeed, I am definitely an enthusiast of the Walker's Deluxe, or Walker's Delicious, as the elderly gentleman at the store told me. And highly recommend it. $11.79, the sticker tells me, for a bottle, assuming Wisconsin doesn't raise the liquor tax. 'Cause, I don't know, they keep trying to do it. You might be looking at a second whiskey rebellion. I might have to have a few glasses of Walkers and raise a militia. Because all everybody had to do was whine and bitch and moan about the beer tax, and whew, that idea was gone. So now they just turn from beer and wine and they go straight to distilled stuff because apparently they don't realize what a hell of a crowd a bunch of people hopped up on Jack Daniels can be like. You get 20, 30 guys drinking Jack, they'll burn down a goddamn town for no other reason than somebody told them they wouldn't do it. So I don't think messing with taxes on the distilled beverages is a particularly good idea. Simply for the crowd that you have drinking those things and the effect that it can have on them. I mean, you can get 10 times as many beer drinkers over there. My money is on the 1/10 size population hopped up on Jack Daniels. Because they will go through that crowd and they won't stop until they fucking pass out. So it'll be like Sherman's fucking march. My point is, be careful before you start taxing the whiskey. Because, as I said, the Great Whiskey Rebellion is still in the history books for a reason. Don't piss off a whiskey drinker by messing with their whiskey. That being said, I'm going to finish this one and go light something on fire so I don't freeze to death. So that's it for this strange daylight edition of Drinks with Ron. I will see you soon.